we go. We got that green light. We're good. All right, so here we are. Downtown Bridgeport, point of view photography. I'm going to see how much we can cover today. Shooting with something a little bit different. A7SIII, broad daylight, that's okay. We have the 7Artisans lens on it. The 35mm f1.2. Not really in the mood to talk to people today. I work retail long enough. So we're just gonna get some of the landmarks. These are the danger shots, actually, if you want to take a shot like this. Now I'm actually shooting f2.8 Lewis Howard Latimer, inventor of the light bulb. Let's get a shot of him right here with the flags in the background. Shooting at f1.2 actually. It's gonna be very hard to get focus. Get the razor thin focus. But if we, as long as you're patient, you'll get it. No, let's see. We'll see how it looks afterwards. That's why you watch these kinds of videos, so you can see other people in danger while you're not in danger. Right here, boom, boom, boom. I had to move quickly because I heard some cars coming. This will be a nice clean shot. f1.2, all kinds of vignetting, all kinds, but right here, take this shot, boom. Let's get the tall boy shot right here. Something like this. Some of that artsy Instagram stuff, right? Check it out. We trying, folks, we trying. So we have the World War II Memorial. I know a lot of creators are in this building, so let's give them a little bit of a shout out. Stood about 5'6". A lot of people like taking shots like this in between two buildings. These kinds of shots people live for, like the verticality of it. Definitely got to do something about this crop factor. I know I'm going to be cropping in. I said I'll be cropping in after the fact, but it's kind of annoying knowing that I have to do that. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to do some in-camera cropping. For you Sony shooters, you know what I'm talking about. People's Bank has to be in there, so there it is. And we got the old People's Bank right in front of it. So a little bit of before and after kind of thing, right? I actually went to the top of the brown part. And a lot of people like to do music videos out here. Some folks have aspirations of doing videos on top of that building, but very few get to go up there. You got to be the right man in the right place at the right time to get shots like that. But that's how it is with everything, right? Like that's why a lot of people say you miss all the shots you don't take. So you got to have as many at-bats as you can. Just like these folks at the Stress Factory Comedy Club. Who would have thought that we would have world famous comedians stopping by the Stress Factory in Bridgeport, downtown, mind you. I'm so upset though, because I remember the Hodge twins came here once and I never went. There we go. Some more landscape shots. You know what? I would definitely come here with a wider lens next time. But we're gonna get this as best as we can. Just the overall. This is truly something you have to see in person to appreciate. Just the sheer magnitude of this, the quality of this. A lot of people go here and they're here for the bar. Very few are here for the history. And as I mentioned, Old People's Bank building, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. But just the detail, you know, definitely is something that deserves like a 61 megapixel Sony A7R IV type treatment. It was on sale for Black Friday, and if you were a student, you'd be able to get it real cheap. I don't need any selling on a wide angle lens because right here, right now, I wish I already had one so I could take a better shot of this building that has been photographed a million times. Like I said earlier, this was the part that I went on, the brown part. But we still get some okay looking shots here with this. Not bad, not bad. At the P.T. Barnum Museum over there. Maybe we could find Hugh Jackman in there. Got like that cloudy look. Feel like it might snow again sometime soon. You know, I often visit this section of Bridgeport when I'm testing out new lenses. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, just let me know. It's one of those things where I don't know every single little thing about the city, but I have picked up bits and pieces. And let me tell you something. This area that we're looking at right now is a very important area, I must say. If there's anything I know about Bridgeport, it's this. That the roots of the term Men in Black have been derived and were initiated in Bridgeport, believe it or not. I forget the gentleman's name, but there's a historian in Bridgeport at the Bridgeport Library named Mike J. Balava. And he knows all about this story, about how a guy had a house in this area of Bridgeport. And you know what? It's so fascinating to me. Let me just take a couple of shots. A guy had a house in this area of Bridgeport, and he was doing some sort of rituals that allowed him to manifest the attention of extraterrestrials. Yes, that's right, folks. I forget the name, but just look it up. The origins of the There's actually a podcast. My job did a podcast on this. Mike J. Balava. He knows all about it. Bridgeport Library. A guy in Bridgeport was visited by people dubbed as the Men in Black. And it's so fitting that we're talking about this right now, because in the distance there looks to be some sort of UFO looking object, but that's actually part of the new Harbor Yard Amphitheater that's coming soon. Live music and concerts whenever that is. But back to the alien story, Men in Black. This section of the city, I gotta tell you, it might be my favorite. I just love the huge, large underpass. I just used two words, the same thing to describe it. Double positive. But there was something going on in this section of the city that made the government say, you know what, we're going to have to cover up the sky that used to be over this guy's house. And what do you know? They built I-95 right over it. And that's where we're under right now, guys. We're right underneath. Maybe we need to get some better shots of this. We are underneath I-95 south, and in this place that I'm looking at, I gotta tell you, the architecture here is really nice, but I think the story behind this area is even crazier. Like I said, a guy was visited by Men in Black, and it was in this place. Now, Mike Balava does Bridgeport walks around Halloween, and he tells the story. He tells the story that I'm telling you now. Obviously, he's a historian. He's going to be able to tell it much better than I can. But this is the area. Apparently, right above where I'm standing, if the highway weren't here, it would probably be just as good as being in Egypt and having pyramids that shoot to the sky beams. I'm talking crazy, I know, but shoot to the sky beams that speak to interdimensional beings. Apparently, that's what was happening, and that's why the government said, "Hey, we got to build a highway over that place." And that's where we're at. That's why we're here. So I know, I'm sorry if this photo walk took a quirky and in some cases disturbing dark turn for you folks, but hey, that's what you're here for. And you're here to hear the history, I guess. If you want to hear me talking and you want to hear what I know. But I'm just here just to share what I know. A lot of people can walk up this. Not everybody can walk up this. I mean, you kind of have to be like a cat. You also have to have boots like I'm wearing. You know what they say, these boots are made for walking. I think back in the 90s, there were like homeless people chilling up here. Not sure, but for sure this angle is perspective. And maybe those homeless people that were chilling here had dreams of aliens. Who knows? But these are some really interesting perspectives that we're getting right now. These shots are, I'm pretty sure, they're probably going to be the best of the walk today, just because we're harnessing that alien energy. Hopefully not negative alien energy. It's the point where I end up falling off this thing. I mean, we got some workers over there. Just everything in this section of town just looks different than the rest of it. Sort of like Steel Point. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that video later. I'm just taking some quirky shots though. Not talking to people. The architecture of this area is something else, wouldn't you say? I mean, just look at this. A lot of people come here for graduation, but I don't think they appreciate the architecture in this spot. Remember when this place was first being built back in the early 2000s? Are we ever gonna get back to this? I mean, look at that though. Look at that. This might actually be a nice place for a drone. You know, I do have my license, and it would be a fantastic place to fly the bird, so to speak. Probably can't see it too well, but that's why I'm here to take this picture with some leading lines. Maybe we get a different perspective on it. Almost looks like La Máquina, or the machines from Seaside. Take some images like this would be alright. We'll get some nice shots here. Boom. Too bad we're not dealing with a camera with a higher megapixel count, but that's okay. That's a-okay. You want to know why? Because we can revisit these places at night and get crazy visuals at night. Because you know we're dealing with the A7SIII, and it's got the crazy low light gathering capabilities, so we don't have to worry about needing a flash or too much ambient light. This thing can see in the dark. Definitely has that look of alien. Definitely has that alien look. But I like it. This used to be the Bluefish. And can you believe it? I've never seen an actual Bluefish game. Like, I've never been. I mean, I've been in the stands, but I never actually like watched the game. Never actually watched the game. You know, it'd be interesting if I were really daring. I would go right into that spot where those guys came out of, but we don't want to trespass. We don't want to trespass. We're just observing. We're just observing. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for coming with me on this journey. Let's walk up there. Doesn't seem to be much going on. We can put our lens through and get some shots. The old remnants of Bridgeport Bluefish, but what is now, or what will be, Harbor Yard Amphitheater. Typical construction site, you know? But look at that, the massiveness. Inside, check that out. Now we're talking. This is the meat and potatoes of today's journey, aside from the alien talk. You know, I always thought that this building was weird. It was almost like there was a pool. I always thought that there was a pool in this building. Doesn't it look like, you know, you would find a pool inside here? It's just weird. It's like the only building in Bridgeport that looks like this. It's like all rounded in the back. I got a location I know I wanna shoot in. Coming up. Something like this. This used to be the old Bridgeport bus station, actually. The architecture here is also pretty cool looking. Seems abandoned, but that's okay because they built a new one down the street. This is the shot. I remember coming here when I was young. Now look at it. It's empty. They repurposed it though as like a garage in the top levels. Oh, I'll tell you right now, my past self, when I was 6, 7, or 8 years old, right here inside the bus, everybody's gonna know what I'm talking about when I talk about this. Hustle Man, right here, in the 90s. Hustle Man was here back then. Wonder where he's at. Maybe we'll find him on one of these photo walks someday. But this is the shot I was looking for, something like this. I know people go crazy for this type of stuff. Supposed to have a cigar lounge up here on the corner with a rooftop lounge to look over Bridgeport. Eventually. I haven't heard anything lately about it coming to fruition, but the building looks like it still needs a lot of exterior work. I'm pretty sure has been getting updated. Because I see the guy doing his thing on Instagram, updating it, looking like it's coming together nicely. Be nice to get inside there and take some shots. So if you're watching, let me know. We could do a walkthrough. We could do a body cam walkthrough. Cause we're looking a little patchy in there, my guy. Looking a little patchy in there. Another nice building. Another City Trust building. Another nice one. See something like that. Boom. Arcade Mall. Arcade Mall. I think it might be open. That might be a good way to get some quality content. Mo's got a new owner. We got this building right here. This building is clean looking. This building looks like a games console actually. That's what I like about it. It's actually very unique. But if the arcade mall is open, we'll definitely hop in there. We can see what's going on and take a few flicks. You know, I like this part of downtown Bridgeport. It kind of reminds me of New York for some reason. Only a little more, less dense. Yeah, looks like we open. We can just walk right through. See, I remember coming in here doing an event here, and it was so packed. It was so packed. But now, definitely not so much. A few people here, a few people there. But people love this place. I guess this used to be like a big deal back in the day, you know what I mean? Definitely need this kind of shot right here. You know, maybe I haven't explained this to anybody recently, but I know a lot of people are out there and you haven't fully embraced the future yet and jumped on the mirrorless bandwagon, and you're probably wondering how I can take such great photos using just the live view display rather than the viewfinder. It's because you haven't jumped on the mirrorless bandwagon yet. Once you do, you realize how to take, not how to, but you'll realize that you can take photos like this just using the live view display. You don't have to look through the viewfinder. Arcade Mall. Arcade Mall. Looks like there's an upstairs spot. Definitely go up there. We can see what kind of shots we can get. Man, look at that. We're taking a picture of a picture. How original. Let's go to the top floor. A little light here. You see, once I get the autofocus lens, I think it'll definitely be a different kind of video. Because right now, I gotta use two hands to hold the thing. Wouldn't you rather see me like be a little more nimble in the presentation? You know, people love this ceiling. I'm surprised that through storms and all that, this right here looks delicate. Like these windows look delicate. You can see reeds in the cut over there. I'm surprised that these windows never broke or anything like that over time with storms and everything that has happened down here. I'm very surprised. Look at this. Look at this. We got one of those. Hit him with one of these. Hit him with one of those. Okay. Oh, and there's a bike there? Come on now. I hope no one thinks I'm gonna try to steal their bike. This right here definitely is solidifying the day, ladies and gentlemen. We're definitely solidifying the day here. Getting these artsy shots. The woman with the dogs. Pretty sure she was a nice lady. I didn't want to ask her for a picture because that's not what this video is about. This video is about just distancing and staying away and kind of just going about by your lonesome and having you guys visit with me. And again, I couldn't thank you enough for joining. Next time I come out, it's going to be with a different kind of lens. It's definitely going to be with the kind of lens that I don't need to have two hands on the camera for. Because then I could do all kinds of stuff. This right here reminds me of Japan for some reason. Japanese kind of, you know, the colors might be inverted, but it's definitely that kind of vibe. It's definitely that kind of vibe. About 10 to 15 minutes later. Obviously, we're gonna get more. Oh, and if you don't know where we're at, we're over here on the same street of the post office, right next to Holiday Inn. I don't know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently there's something crazy underneath the old Rite Aid building. Crazy as in, like, there's some sort of secret. Maybe we could uncover that someday. I think these seagulls are about to get run over. They just don't care. They really almost got run over. They just don't care. The whole thing about not interacting with people in this first video is not because I don't want to. I'm wearing my mask. It's okay. Don't worry. I was just playing around earlier. But I'm using a manual lens. If I'm going to take pictures of people, I don't want them to wait until I focus my f1.2 lens. I just want to make sure that it's autofocusing correctly and they can go on with the rest of their day. I don't want them to have to wait for me to do my job. I just want to do the job quickly. It's that building we were talking about. Now available. They're talking about space, but I wonder what else is available underneath that. I don't know, my barber told me that. Not sure how true it is. But looks like we can cross. Something like this. One of those moody shots, like those. Something that you would find in the math book, on the back of the math book. This is a shot. I see a shot here. Something with reeds and the light post or whatever. But it's going to require a much longer focal length. At this point, all we got is a Harry Potter looking light. And that's it. Nothing crazy. A bunch of leading lines. Yeah, a bunch of, actually, you know, a funny story, the post building, that's where I remember my mom had her job at, the post building over there. So we got a post building, a post light. I mean, it's looking pretty. It's looking pretty, actually. Pretty, period. Pretty in general, I should say. And I guess we'll have to get the steps, right? Because what's a downtown walkthrough, photo walk, whatever you want to call it, of Bridgeport without the steps? But, you know, we could always remove that in post, because that's what everybody does nowadays, right? Again, like I said, what would the walkthrough be without some shots? What's up, guys? Hey, good, how are you? Well, what would the walkthrough be without any shots of the steps? We're gonna have to do it. Everybody loves to do it. Here it is. Almost like DNA strands, right? Almost like DNA strands. But I feel like nobody does it from the opposite end. Oh yeah, this is definitely a shot. I could see why people come here. I definitely see why people come here. This is that Joker spot. Very similar to the scene in Joker where he's dancing on the steps. I'm pretty sure somebody had to have recreated that in Bridgeport at some point. Reese, come on now, come on Bridgeport, come on guys. How come that hasn't gone viral yet? How come someone hasn't danced on these steps like Joaquin Phoenix in Joker? His award-winning role. How come no one has danced on these steps and made that damn video go viral in Bridgeport? Everybody always talks about putting Bridgeport on the map. And watch I be the one to do it. Just a guy taking pictures with a not a GoPro, but a DJI Osmo action strap to his chest. I'm not saying I am gonna be the one, but I wouldn't be surprised if I am. This right here, this is a nice little street. This is a nice little street. We got the S curve and the leading lines. And it works out for the picture quite nicely, I must say.